I created this dragon from the gates of death. Letting go was the hardest part, and then this happened. They said it was beyond saving. The corpse lay cold on the obsidian slab, broken wings cracked at the joints, scales dull with death, and the heart, once blazing with fire, silent. But Kira, last of the Emberborn healers, refused to accept it. He wasn't just any dragon. He was happe, the run of a burned-out clutch, tossed from a noble sky nest as a hatchling, rescued by me from the ashes. I raised him in secret, nursed him, taught him the skies, and in return he became my soul-bound. And then the war came. I begged him not to go to the front lines. But dragons are creatures of pride, and happe wanted to prove he was more than a castaway. He soared into the storm of war and never came back whole. I found what was left of him 3 days later on the battlefield outskirts. His body was mutilated, his soul barely tethered to the plane of flame. No one dared bring him back, not even the grand flame weavers. Too far gone, they said, to try would doom your own soul. I didn't care. In secret, I invoked the forbidden rite of Cinderlows, a binding resurrection spell once used by rogue dragon priests. It required blood, memory, and pain. My pain, my own life force, became the bridge. The fire I poured into him was fueled by every memory, every laugh we'd shared. And it worked. His chest jerked. A single puff of smoke escaped his nostrils. The spark returned. But happe wasn't the same. His wings healed but twitched as though haunted. His eyes glowed too bright, the flame inside unstable. He didn't remember our bond. He didn't even recognize me. And worse, he lashed out, not just in fear, but in wrath. The soul I had brought back wasn't fully his. The elders found out. They condemned me, called my act a violation of life and balance. Let the dead rest, they told me. You've made him something he was never meant to be. They gave me a choice, undo the binding or be banished. I chose neither. Instead, I took happe and ran. We hid in the Cradle Mountains, where the ancient dragons once roamed. I tried to reach him, to remind him of what we had. At times, there were glimpses, a soft growl when I sang the lullabies he once slept to, or the way he shielded me during the blizzards. But it was never enough. The storm in his heart kept growing. One night, he vanished. No trail, no cry, just gone. I searched for days, weeks. I screamed to the skies until my voice broke. But I knew, deep down, the soul I'd forced back had fled, tried to find peace where I wouldn't let it rest. Letting go was the hardest part. I returned to the Emberborn ruins alone. The council had fallen during the second siege. There was no one left to judge me. I laid happe final scale, the only piece I found after his disappearance, into the river light, where fallen dragons are honored. I whisper my last apology. And then something unbelievable happened. The river flared gold. Flames coiled into the sky, and from them, a silhouette emerged, sleek, regal, wings broad and unscarred. My breath caught. It was happe, but not as I'd known him. He was reborn, not through necromancy, not through binding rites, but through his own will. Somehow, the soul that I'd once tethered had found balance beyond the veil. He had passed through death, through chaos, and come back by choice, whole and self-forged. He landed before me, eyes steady. I remember now, he rumbled. Not just the pain, not just the fire. You! Tears streamed down my face. I reached out, not to bind him, not to control him, but simply to touch him, if only once more. His wing curled around me in return. I'm sorry, I whispered. I should have let you go. You did, he said, and because you did, I found myself again. Now, happe soars not as my creation, but as my equal, and together We ride once more, not as a girl who defied death and a beast who forgot, but as two souls who learned that real love. Let's go, even when it hurts most.